Peace to the 12. Y'all see the title? It says, God causes evil, question mark. All right, it's a 50-page slide we're going to go through. It's called God causes evil, question mark. And the short answer to that question is yes. The Most High does cause evils on the earth. All right, we're going to kick it off, and we're going to prove it in the first verse. We're going to kick it off in Isaiah 45:7. All right, this is Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So God causes evil. Well, he just said he makes peace and creates the evil. The Lord does do. I, the Lord, do all these things. So you could end the video right there. It's over. But but I'm not going to end it there. All right. And there are certain scriptures that I didn't include that I could have included, but I'm just going to try to make this very centered on certain things. All right, but right there, you can end it right there. The Lord makes peace and creates evil. He forms the light and creates darkness, right? Now, what the world would call that is, it's called duality. All right, duality, the quality of condition of being dual. All right, what is the concept of duality, right? It says, as hinted at by the word dual within it, duality refers to having two parts, often with opposite meanings, like the duality of good and evil, two sides to a coin, etc. Right? So good and evil. Well, the Lord makes peace and creates evil. All right, but we're gonna get more instances in the scriptures where it tells you that the Lord controls everything. All right, He's an omnipotent force. See, contrary to what people think, where they think that the Lord is unicorns, rainbows, and bunny rabbits. First of all, the Lord loves the nation of Israel. All right, the 12 tribes. Second of all, the Lord not only brings peace, He also brings destruction. All right, He brings good and He brings evil. He created all those things, and He created all those concepts. We're going to go to 1 Samuel 2:6. All right, so the Lord kills and He makes alive. All right, this is 1 Samuel chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and He hath set the world upon them. So the Lord can make you rich, He can make you poor, He can kill you, or He can let you live. He can do all those things. And He can bring somebody out of the mud, and He can cast somebody down, straight like that. All right, so yes, the Most High causes evil. Now, I know some people that are probably new to this will probably say, well then, what about the spiritual demon Satan? I will touch on that in this video towards the middle of this portion. But let's get more scriptures proving that yes, the Most High God, the God of the Bible, the Most High Yahawah, He does cause evil. All right, He causes goods and evil. Proverbs 16:4. The Lord hath made all things for Himself, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Most High has created wicked people, all right, for the days of evil. All right, the Lord hath made all things. He's created all things, all good things, all bad things, all nutritious things, all poisonous things, all righteous things, all wicked things. The Most High has created all things, the sun and the moon. All right, we're going to touch on that in a minute, about all the two, correlating 2 by 2. We're going to touch on that in a minute, but all right. So the Lord controls the good and the evil, pretty simple, but we're going to do with penalties, right? The Lord also brings out penalties because He's even brought evils onto the nation of Israel. What is a penalty? A penalty is a punishment imposed for breaking a law, rule, or contract. And yeah, that's when we broke the covenants, the law, statutes, and commandments. We were given evils. And let's get those examples of the Lord sending us evils for defaming His law. This is Deuteronomy 28:61. We're going to start at 59 though, or 58. Deuteronomy 28:58. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God, Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful in the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of a long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. So if we refuse to do what the Lord told us to do, guess what, man? We're going to have to learn the hard way, and a lot of our people are going to be destroyed, plagued, and destitute, right? Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee, and every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. All right. So it's pretty plain right there. Lord, do that to you, man. Those are penalties, punishments. All right. And they're even called evil by name, right? Let's get 1 Kings 9 and 6. This is 1 Kings 9 and 6. These things he did to us were evil. 1 Kings 9 and 6. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, once again you turn away from the law, statutes, commandments. But if ye shall at all turn from following me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I cut Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name will I cast out of my sight. And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. And at this house which is high, everyone that passeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss, and they shall say, why hath the Lord done this unto this land and into this house? So once again, you want to go against the grain. All right, you don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Well, guess what? You're going to get cast off from your land, to where you're going to be slaves to the heathen and treated like absolute garbage, treated like the scum of the earth, and mocked, and all that. All right, but anyway, look, once again, it's what these things that are doing that are going to happen to our people for breaking the law, the penalty for our punishments, right? It's evil. This is 1 Kings 9 and 9. And they shall answer, because they forsook the Lord their God, they forsook the Most High Yahawah their God, who brought forth their fathers out of the land of Egypt, and have taken hold upon other gods, and have worshipped them and served them. Now watch this. Therefore hath the Lord brought upon them all this evil. So because of that, the Lord brought upon us evil, period. Okay? Once again, yes, God causes evil, but we're going to continue. Okay? We're going to continue. Joshua 23 and 15, another example of that, saying that. Joshua 23 and 15. Therefore it shall come to pass that as all good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God promised you, so shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things. So the same way that we were promised good things, we were also promised evil things, until he have destroyed you from off this good land, which the Lord your God hath given you. Why did he destroy us off the good land? Well, we read that a while ago. All right. Because they wanted to serve other gods and not keep his commandments. Okay? So, once again, the Most High brought evil things. Okay? Now, let's go into the good angel and bad angel. Well, now we can deal with the angels. All angels work for the Most High God. Every single one of them. All right? All the angels are under yahawashi. Let's prove that. You can get that in Job 1 and Job 2. We're going to first start at Job 1 through 12. I actually did a whole breakdown on Job, the first chapter. You can find it somewhere. It's just called Job 1. But on this same channel, Robert Penn. But Job chapter 1 and verse 1 on down to 12, right? There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead, because we're going to go to verse 6. All right, this is Job 1 and 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves. These are talking about the angels in this instance. There was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. So among these good angels and bad angels, Satan was among them, and they had to present themselves. Meaning what? All the angels work for the Most High God. Okay? Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth. and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? In other words, has Satan decided to prove Job? All right, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and issueth evil. So the Most High and Satan are having this discussion on the righteous mortal man known as Job. Okay. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Right. Hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. Now watch this. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. So the Most High gave power over Job unto Satan. Okay? Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So Satan was given a task by the Most High to basically prove Job. Okay? And Satan was bringing evils out, man. Once again, all angels, whether good or bad, they work for the Most High, because the Most High God is the one who causes the evil and the good. Once again, Isaiah 45:7, I form the light, create darkness, I make peace, create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. All right? But we're going to prove that the Most High, that the evil angels work for the Most High. Just stick with me. But we're going to get one more in Job 2. Once again, proving that Satan does, in fact, work for the Most High. Okay, this is Job chapter 2 and verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. Okay. Once again, Satan is in attendance, just like all the rest of the sons of God, the good angels and the evil angels. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and issueth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. Now watch what the Lord does, or watch what the Lord commands Satan. All right? Watch what he does. This is Job chapter 2 and 6. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot onto his crown. So once again, the angels of the Lord, all angels of the Lord work for the Most High. We're going to prove that again. I'm going to get into more scriptures on that. But this is a scripture right here proving that the Most High controls good angels, good and evil angels, specifically evil angels. This is Psalms chapter 78 and verse 49. He cast upon, let me see if I'm still recording. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. So the Most High Yahawah sent evil angels among the Egyptians, okay? Because it tells you in verse 51, right? And smote all the firstborn in Egypt, the chief of their strength, and the tabernacles of Ham. So he sent evil angels to mess up them Egyptians, man. All right? But at the same time, he made his own people go forth like sheep and guided them in the wilderness like a flock, which once again lets you know that the Most High controls the good and the evil. Because in the same way that he brought all them evil plagues on the Egyptians, he let the Israelites go through unscathed, all right, like sheep being led by a shepherd. Okay, meaning what? The Most High can bring torments on somebody while at the same time redeeming and saving somebody else at the exact same time. All right. And just to prove that, right? First, he sent evil angels to deal with the Egyptians, right? But he helped us. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 18 deals with that. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 5, but 7 is what I want. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 5. And when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints, one child being cast forth and saved to reprove them. That child that was saved was Moses. Thou tookest away the multitude of their children and destroyedst them altogether in a mighty water. Of that night were our fathers certified afore, that assuredly knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterwards be of good cheer. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemy. So while the righteous are being saved, guess what? Our enemies, which would be the heathen nations, are being destroyed at the exact same time. For wherewith thou didst punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us. So while our adversaries got punished, we were being glorified, whom thou hadst called. All right, and who the ones that are specifically called on the second trip, on the second Exodus, all right, is going to be the elect of the nation of Israel. The elect is another word for the term chosen. All right, but yeah, man. And it says the destruction of our enemies. Well, who are our enemies? The heathen nations. Let's prove that real quick. Yes, the other nations are our enemies. All right. And another word for the term nation is race. Let me get that. I do this every time nowadays. Let me get that real quick. Bear with me 1 second. I don't know if I can hear these crickets, but I tell you what, they're going crazy. Yeah, every time I want to pull something up when I'm recording, man, internet go crazy slow. But we're going to get it. Let me get it for y'all. The other nations are our enemies, and another term for the word nation is race. Okay? Nation. All right? I'm about to pull it up. On the etymology, the term etymology means origin of word. All right? So the other nations are our enemies. And the term nation, another word for the term nation, is the word race. Okay? Nation, 1300s, nation. A race of people, tribe, race of people, literally. Okay? So, the other nations, aka the other races, are the enemies of the Israelites according to the Bible. And Psalms chapter 83 goes into that in specifics, right? This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 1 through 8. A song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken, and look, the enemies, right? We're going to find out who these enemies are, thine enemies. They have taken crafty counsels against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, they have a APB out on us. They have said, come and let us cut them off for being a nation, that the name of Israel may no more be in remembrance. They don't even want the name of Israel being in remembrance. They don't want us to remember our nationality. All right, so much so that they have mock members pretending to be us. But anyway, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. And who is this? All right, the houses, the tabernacles. The term tabernacles means tent or house. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of La Salah. So all these people are different nations, different houses, different tabernacles. And another word for nation means race. Okay, we proved that. Race of people, literally. And let's get some more scriptures real quick on proving that the heathens are our enemies. You know, I know I was dealing with the angels and, yeah, God causing evil, but, you know, I'm still going to break down other things too. Nehemiah 5 and 9. Also I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our God, because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies. So the heathen, another word for heathen means nations. The nations are our enemies, man. First Maccabees 3 and 52. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagined against us, thou knowest. So the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. I'll probably do another video going more into this topic, proving that, yeah, these other nations are our literal enemies. But going back to the angel aspect, on the Most High controlling evil angels, we know that he sent evil angels against the Egyptians. Well, here's another account of the Lord sending an evil angel. This is Judges 9 and 23. Judges 9 and 23. Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem dealt treacherously with Abimelech. So God sent an evil spirit, the Most High. sent an evil spirit. You see that? Let's get some other instances of this same thing. 1 Samuel 16 and 14. All right. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. An evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. Who sent this evil spirit? The Lord did. All right. And then in the same chapter, it talks about an evil spirit from God. And then it talks about an evil spirit from God again. And you go to and then in the same chapter, in the same chapter, 1 Samuel 16, it talks about it at least 4 times. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul. So the Most High be the one sending the evil spirits out there, man. All right, let's get some more. 2 Samuel 12 and 11. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil. The Lord will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house. And I will make thy wives before thine own eyes, and give them unto the neighbor. And I will take thy wives before thine own eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of his son, in the sight of his son. All right, that's heavy too. The Lord that means the Lord can put a spirit of adultery on somebody. Of course he can. Once again, the Lord controls everything. But 1 Kings 22 and 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lion spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets. What? The Lord put a lion spirit out in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. The Most High spoke that evil, right? 2 Kings 6 and 33. And while he yet talked with them, behold, the messenger came down unto him, and he said, behold, this evil is of the Lord. What should I wait for the Lord any longer? All right, so the evil is of the Lord. Okay, now let's get instances proving once again the angels in the New Testament, they still obey. All right, they never rebel. There are no damn fallen angels. I did 2 videos on that. I'm gonna put them out right here because I'm not gonna go fully in depth on it, but I did 2 videos talking about fallen angels. It's called The Truth About Fallen Angels and BBL Angels. To watch that if you would disagree with me, because these 2 videos prove without a shadow of a doubt that there are no damn fallen angels. Mark chapter 5, we're going to talk about New Testament, all the times that, once again, the evil angels, so-called, still follow after the Most High, all right, and his son, yahawashi. This is Mark chapter 5, and we're going to start at, we'll just read it from the top. Mark chapter 5, verse 1. And they came over unto the other side of the sea into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. So a man had an unclean spirit. Another word for unclean spirit is a demon. All right. And this is an evil angel, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. All right. So we just got that example, right? But watch this. But when, verse 6, Mark 5 and 6, but when he saw yahawashi afar off, he ran and worshipped him. All right, so as soon as he spotted yahawashi, he ran and worshipped him. He didn't pull out a sword and say, look, it's the only begotten Son of God. He pulled out a sword, does an evil laugh, and tries to fight him. That didn't happen, man. As soon as he saw yahawashi, he ran and worshipped him, man. All right, and cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, yahawashi, the son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God, thou torment me not. All right. So he was pleading with him. And what did the Lord say? For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. So that demon in the New Testament, he still ran and worshipped yahawashi. So this idea that they're rebelling and there's going to be this crazy war, no. And when it talks about Revelations and it talks about Satan, that's talking about a man. See, sometimes Satan, when it's used in the scriptures, when you go through the concordance, sometimes Satan can just mean an adversary. All right, it doesn't have to be the spiritual demon Satan. But that's another video for another day. But let's get some more instances where the angels, once again, knew. The angels knew the deal, okay? This is Luke 22, verse 1. All right, the angels are still in line, all right? They're not rebelling or none of that. But this is Luke 22 and 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover. And the chief priests and scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. Now watch this. Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, being of the number of the 12. So Satan literally entered into Judas. All right, one of the 12 apostles. Right? Or 12 disciples. And he went his way and communed with the chief priests and captains how he might betray him unto them. So Satan hopped on Judas Iscariot. He was so-called possessed, right? Now watch this. This is John 13, and we're going to start at 26. John 13:26. Yahawashi answered, He it is to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon. And after the sop, Satan entered into him. So watch this. Satan enters into Judas, right? We already proved it. We already proved that earlier. Satan entered into Judas, right? And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Now watch this. Then said yahawashi unto him, that thou doest, do quickly. So yahawashi not only knew what Satan was doing, not only knew that Satan was possessing Judas Iscariot, but he told him, hey, look, what you're about to do, go ahead and do it quickly. Let's go ahead and get it over with, man. All right, meaning what? Satan was following under orders. He was following under the script. And yahawashi knew that he had to die on the cross. You can read about that. He knew that. Okay? He already knew the script on that. And Satan was just playing the role. All right? And it tells you that in Luke 4 in verse 8. And Yahawashi answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So Satan still serves the Most High God, man. Period. And to prove that, there's Psalms 103 and 20. Right? Psalms 103 and 20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. So the angels do the Lord's commandments. And I'm going to prove anyway that the thing that causes people to err, the thing that causes people to forsake the law is the flesh. All right. Bless ye the Lord, all ye his hosts, ye ministers of his that do his pleasure. All right. And angels are his ministers. I think I included that in a minute. I believe, right? I hope I did. Maybe I didn't. Where he talks about making them ministers of fire. Maybe I didn't include it, man. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Salakia. Yeah, I did. All yahawashi, ministers of his that do his pleasure. All right, let's read the angels are his ministers, and they do all his pleasure. They do his commandments, right? His angels. Let's prove that. This is Psalms 104 and verse 4. I'm going to start at 1, then I'm going to go to 4. Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord, Yahawah, my God. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. All right, so his angels are spirits and a flame of fire. And because his angels are spirits, they cannot sin. Why can they not sin? Because, once again, sin is transgression against the law. And the thing that causes us to sin is the flesh. Angels are spirits and not flesh. All right, so let's break this myth of the fallen angel real fast, right? Let's go into that. Already got this. But 2 Ezra 8:21. Whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling. So the whole host of angels stand with trembling. The good and evil ones. They tremble before the Most High's will and his might. James 2:19. Thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. Now watch this. The devils also believe and tremble. So the devils also believe and tremble before the Most High. So the good and evil angels. You see that? All right. And we already got this. The ministers, he maketh his angel spirits. We already got that. All right. And because they're spirits, they don't have to deal with what we have to deal with. Matthew 26 and 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. So the spirit is willing. And so if the spirit is willing, and angels are spirits, the spirits are willing. They do whatever they're told what to do. But the flesh is weak. The flesh is what man has. Luke 24:39. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. But Luke 24:39. Behold, my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me and see. For a spirit hath not flesh and bones as ye see me have. See, a spirit does not have flesh or bones. All right, so angels do not have flesh or bones. You understand? All right, and if they don't have flesh, that means they can't sin, because once again, the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. They are not hindered by the corruptible body that we possess. All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 18, verse 1. He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. So the Most High created all things in general, both good things and evil things. The Lord only is righteous, and there is none other but he, who governeth the world with the palm of his hand, and all things, you see this? All things obey his will. All things obey the will of the Most High, Yahawah. All right? For he is the king of all, by his power dividing holy things among them from profane. All right, and he does the division between the holy and the profane. We know that the profane man is Esau. All right, I believe that's Hebrews 13. Lest there be a man as profane as Esau. All right, and who is holy? The Israelites. I got to do a video on that too, on the holy and the profane, but that's another video for another day. All right, and the Most High is the Father of spirits too, the Father of the angels. Hebrews 12:9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Who's the Father of spirits? The Most High. The term Father means the supreme being. He's the Father of spirits. He's the Father of the angels. All right, Job 1 and Job and in Job 2, it called the angels what? Sons of God. The Israelites are also sons of God. You know, once again, I did more in depth on this for those that are still on the fence or whatever, before they get to click and clack. And I did more videos on this called BBL Angels and the truth about the fallen angels. I did a 2-part series on that. Okay, see if I'm still recording. Bet. All right, now let's deal with balance. All right. You know, I could have been into the video, but, you know, God causes evil. And also, he deals with balance. Remember, he forms the light and creates darkness. He makes peace and creates evil. The Most High is dealing with balance. Let's deal with that real quick. Balance. Ecclesiasticus 33:11. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made all their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. Okay. Now, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. So the Most High renders to man what he likes best, man. Just like someone has power of the clay. Whatever he shapes it into, whether it be a brick or a pot or whatever, hey, it's going to be that. All right. Now watch this. Good is set against evil. See that? Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. Duality. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2, one against another. So the works of the Most High are one against another, good versus evil. The Most High controls the good and the evil. Okay, it's similar to when you read a comic book or a manga, right? I'm going to use a comic book for this example, right? The person who is the creator of a comic book, he writes the comic, right? So he writes Spider-Man, who's the good guy, but in the same pen that he's using, he also creates the Green Goblin. But he created the Green Goblin to be evil, and he created Spider-Man to be good. Okay, so it is the writer who has control over whatever the page does. Okay, in the same way, it's the same way with the Most High. He wrote the Spider-Man, and he wrote the Green Goblin character. Okay. Now going back to this, where it says, where is that? Where it says some of them he hath cursed. Who got cursed for? Who got cursed? Well, I'll give you one example of somebody that got cursed, and that would be the Canaanites. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 1. For thine incorruptible spirit is in all things. Therefore chastenest thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance. wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land. Who are the old inhabitants of the Holy Land? The Canaanites. Joshua 14:1. And these are the countries which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for inheritance to them. So the children of Israel inherited the land of the Canaanites. Okay? So when it says the old inhabitants of the land were gotten rid of, those are the Canaanites. All right, but guess what? The Canaanites were a cursed seed. Remember, some of them hath he cursed and brought low. Yeah, one of the cursed seeds were the Canaanites. Wisdom of Solomon 12:11. For it was a cursed seed from the beginning. Neither didst thou, for fear of any man, give them pardon for those things wherein thou sinned. All right, so they didn't get no pardon. The Canaanites were a cursed seed from the beginning. All right, period. All right. And just to prove that they're a cursed seed, you go to Genesis chapter 9 and verse 24. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew that his younger son had done unto him what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. All right, so Canaan was indeed cursed. All right. Now, once again, he was talking about how good is set against evil. All right, 2 and 2, right? As the clay is in the potter's hand, right? Well, speaking of the clay and good and evil, you have the good son and the bad son, Jacob and Esau. All right, that's what we're going to focus on next. The two sons, Jacob and Esau. We're going to go to Romans chapter 9, verse 8. Right? Romans chapter 9, verse 8. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise, and counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah had also conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. Now watch this, the two sons. For the children being not yet born, neither have it done any good or evil. So before the children could do good or evil, their lots were destined to them by the Most High God. That the purpose of God, see the purpose of God for the children who have not yet done good and evil, according to the election might stand, election meaning chosen, not of works, but of him that calleth. All right, out of the two children, the two sons, Jacob and Esau. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And the Lord hates Esau. You can read about that in Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. All right. Now, going back to this pot thing, right? Potter. Ecclesiastes 33 and 12. As the clay in the potter is in the potter's hand, to fashion as his pleasure, so man is the hand of him, and made him to render to them as liketh him best. Right? So, going back, the Lord Most High can have mercy and compassion on who he wants to have compassion on. Had not the power over this is Romans 9 and 22. Had not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor. All right, yeah, the same lump. All right, they had the same mama. Jacob and Esau had the same father and mother, and yet one was a vessel of honor, and the other was a vessel of dishonor. Jacob was the vessel of honor, obviously, and Esau was the vessel of dishonor, and they were rendered that, man, before they did any good or evil. All right, why? Because that was God's purpose. All right, and Malachi 1 in chapter 1, the burden of the word of the Lord of Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob. So he loved Jacob, but guess what? He also hated Esau. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains in his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom say, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So the Lord has a perpetual indignation for the nation of Edom. All right, we're gonna touch on this word indignation. The word indignation means anger or annoyance. All right, resentment, anger. So he has an anger for them forever. All right, let's prove that again. All right, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So the people of Edom, the people of Esau, the Lord hates them forever. He has anger towards them forever. Right? And in the same way that he has hate for them forever, he will not hate somebody forever. All right, he will turn his wrath against somebody else. All right, he will take his wrath away from somebody else. Jeremiah 3:12. Go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return, thou backsliding Israel, saith the Lord, and I will not cause mine anger to fall upon you. So the Most High is going to withdraw his anger from the Israelites. For I am merciful, saith the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. All right. So he will not keep his anger forever for the Israelites, right? Which goes back to Romans 9:15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So he will have compassion on Israel, but not so for Edom. Remember, he said for the Edomites, he has indignation for them forever. The term indignation, once again, means anger, resentment. Okay? And let's prove that he's going to hate them forever. Well, let's give one more stone. He's going to have mercy on Jacob. And the term mercy means compassion or forgiveness. That's for Jacob. That's for the Israelites. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right, they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, right? Now, let's prove that he has indignation for Edom forever. He already said it himself, right? Indignation. Now let's get Numbers 23:19. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? All right, so whatever the Lord has spoken, he will make it good, right? Well, what did he speak concerning the Edomites? Obadiah 1:18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining in the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So there's not going to be any Edomites left when all is said and done. And the Lord hath spoken it. So the God's not a man that he should lie. Hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? And that's going to be made good, period, man. Okay? Another one. Ezekiel 25:14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. So he's going to use our people. He's going to use the Israelites to put belt to ass on you Edomites, man. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And that anger and that fury, that indignation, is permanent. It's forever. Okay? And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God. That's concerning Edom. Okay? And just to prove that Esau is still around, you got this lie to try to tell you Esau's done away with. Esau's still around, 2 Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, so Esau is the end of the world. All right, Job 21:30, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. So Esau is being preserved for his day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. All right, and in conclusion, I've been proved that God causes the evil, but I want to do another lesson on the angels and another lesson on there's even an evil seed that the Most High created. But God causes the evil. Why is that? Because God is omnipotent. Omnipotent means he has unlimited power, able to do anything. All right, Most High has no adversaries. All right, the term Satan means adversary, and it's not an adversary to God, it's an adversary to mankind. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. Yeah, I could have been in it early, but I want to touch on other things too. And with that, I say peace to the 12. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, the Most High Yahawah, in the name of his only begotten Son, yahawashi. Yahawah being the name of the Heavenly Father, who is commonly known as God, and yahawashi is the Savior of the nation of Israel, who is commonly known as Jesus Christ. And I want to say shalom, which means peace, to you people that's listening and learning, to you elders that's doing this thing before me, and to you brothers that's doing this work in truth and in sincerity. I say shalom to you. It's good to understand that the Most High holds all the cards, man. All right? So why would you be afraid of anybody other than the Most High, other than Yahawah? All right? Our lot is in their hands. All right? The Most High controls the light and the dark, controls good and evil, man. So we shouldn't fear what man can do, and we damn sure shouldn't be afraid of the devil. All right? With that, I say peace.